So I probably look a mess because I'm hot and my air conditioner doesn't work, and I've been physically doing things, actively doing things to try to get my air conditioner to work. I'm by myself. I'm on a boat and I'm on anchor. In fact, I guess I'll go ahead and show you. I can't flip my phone, but I guess I can do it like this. So these are my surroundings. So I have to choose, do I want to be in the sun for extended length of time, or in the shade? There's a nice breeze. I tried to put this tarp up, but because the breeze is so strong coming from that direction, it was turning into a sail and would put too much strain on my anchor, so I have to be careful. These are all just little things you learn, and I'm still learning, but I am on anchor. I've been here for 4 days, I think it is, by myself. Well, not by myself. Companion Gracie. Hi, Gracie. But otherwise, I'm in charge. And I'm running for school board, so I've been trying to work on my campaign. And I sit down to work on it, and I'm either too hot or it's too bright and I can't see my computer screen. I'm not complaining, by the way. I'm setting up a story, really. I've got my engines running. You can maybe hear them in the background. I had to turn my engines on to power up my house batteries because my house batteries dropped below probably around 35% last night. So when I woke up this morning, I had a wet freezer, I should say, a wet freezer. The ice, it had started to defrost itself. In fact, there had been some ice on the sides that started to fall off when I opened the door. There are liquid popsicles. Let's see if these are still liquid. I don't want to touch them because I'm trying to get them to freeze back up. But I had to turn on the engines in order to get power to the batteries. And we're now at about 40% and charging. So I have to leave the engines running until we get the batteries up higher, because as soon as I shut them off, anything we do drains the battery back down. So we have a generator that's supposed to do that, but for some reason it stopped working the day after my husband left. So I was okay with that. I mean, I don't really need that much power. I just need a laptop. I can wait to do laundry. I can wait. I do have a water pump, so when I do dishes or take a shower, I turn on the water pump. So sometimes I have to run my engine for that, but I've been making do. It's fine. I can't complain. The story I'm trying to set up, and the reason I wanted to make this video, is because it kind of serves as a metaphor, I feel like, with some uncommon conversations, because I think we've all heard, you can't learn when you're hungry, you can't learn when you're not safe, students can't learn if their environments are filled with trauma or poverty or various hurdles. And we say it all day long and we use real life examples and people don't click. So, or we do, but just not long enough to be willing to do something different. So I think it's important that we put ourselves in situations sometimes that remind us how to get back to the basics and where things come from and how we get the privileges that we get, and how you kind of have to go back and find the energy source or the loose cable or the things that I've been trying to troubleshoot to no avail to try to get my generator working again. And in the meantime, my freezer has now gone out. So, picture our families, our students who live in situations where their first priorities are survival, right? Their first priorities for their families, for their parents, are making sure bills are paid, making sure there's food on the table, making sure that someone in the family or the household has gainful employment. That means they need to be able to get to and from work and have reliable transportation and clothing and clean their clothing, and and for some people it is incredibly more difficult to do that than it is for others. And I use my boat example because on a boat on anchor with one house battery, it's been a lot more difficult for me to do these things, and in order to just sit down and work at my computer as it sits here waiting for me to do the next thing for my campaign. And I have to prioritize, just like our families have to prioritize. And doing homework isn't always the number one priority for some of our families. Preparing for tests, taking tests, high stakes tests especially, that don't even guide instruction, are not the best uses of our students' skill sets and brain power. And it's really just to provide data that can be used against us. And so this is when Arnie Duncan first said the words educational genocide. I believe it was him that said that. This is what I feel like he was referring to, because privatization of public education takes many shapes and many forms, and once you let the vultures in, they will continue to find a way in. And so that's one of the things that we need to do, is shore up those loose ends and call out those who are abusing their power or spreading lies and disinformation and getting people elected to office that don't have our students' best interests at heart and our taxpayers' dollars interests at heart, other than to put in their own pocket or for their own political gain or power. So I say all of that to say one big difference between my scenario, being on a boat, versus the scenario for our students is that this is my choice. I've made this choice. Poverty is not a choice. Being in a minority community where services have been historically denied for generations, to where we want to blame the parents, but the parents are products of a failed educational system too, and you can't teach what you don't know. So we cannot punish our families who are in poverty, who are in trauma, who are in crisis, especially with the heightened impacts that have taken place since Trump was elected, since the pandemic, which was a result of our response to the pandemic was a result of poor leadership that has continued to spiral out of control into a very divided nation. And I am running for school board because I see the cause and effect. I see the correlations. I see how it all interconnects. And I want to share truth. I want to share facts. I want to share knowledge. I want to open up transparency and restore so many of the things that have been stripped away from us as citizens over the past few years, and especially after this latest General Assembly. So it's a lot, and I try to keep my videos less than 10 minutes, and I'm at 9 minutes now, so I'm going to wrap up and just say these are reasons why I'm running for JCPS School Board District 3. Please visit my website at Adelmann, F-O-R-K-Y, so it's ADELMANNFORKY.com, and complete my survey and let me know if you have any concerns that you would like for me to address as a school board member or candidate for school board. We can get those concerns brought to the public's attention. And also, if you have some endorsements or testimonials that you could share, as well as donations and volunteering, all of that can be found on the Adelmann4ky.com website. GPA for JCPS. Let's get to work.